Zhu Di, who had already cast his vote for his second brother, Zhu Yuanzhang, was escorted by Jin Yue out of the Yan King's residence. He didn't forget to turn back and admonish his nominal consort and two sons. Jin King Zhu Yuanzhang, holding Chebulu, stubbornly refused to leave the street. He felt that if someone genuinely wanted to assassinate the crown prince, then such a thing was something only he himself could pull off. If he had known earlier, he would have stayed in Xi'an. At worst, he'd take his wife, Henan, and flee into the desert to seek refuge with his younger brother-in-law. Voting concluded, two individuals still hadn't voted. Therefore, for their transgressions, the first to be executed were Yan'an Marquis Tang Zhimun, Jian Marquis Lu Zhonghang. He didn't expect this heavenly screen to be for real, to simply eliminate people, just as it said. The two marquises were to be buried with the rites befitting dukes, and their sons were to inherit their titles, the verdict to be revisited. Old Zhu was also quite shocked that these two old fellows were so resolute. Following the heavenly screen's decision for punishment, the list of voters appeared on the heavenly screen. Apart from Lan Yu, who voted for Jin King Zhu Gang, everyone else voted for Jin King Zhu Shuang. Unfortunately, at this moment, Zhu Shuang was being carried on the backs of several Jin Yue agents, heading towards the imperial palace. He didn't even look up at the sky to see how others viewed him. Historical knowledge test. Question 2, answer revealed. It's coming, it's coming. The emperor struck down a son today. His heart must be heavy. Then wouldn't it be our turn for misfortune? With the current situation, the crown prince probably wouldn't be in the mood to plead for anyone anymore. The crown prince went to Guanzhong to inspect the proposed relocation of the capital to Xi'an. As a result, on his return journey to Nanjing, he contracted a wind cold and, unfortunately, passed away. From then on, Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang abandoned the decision to relocate the capital to Xi'an. Therefore, the answer is the incident that transpired when Jin King Zhu Shuang was confined. It was wind cold, not an assassination. It was wind cold, not an assassination. It was wind cold, not an assassination. It was wind cold, not an assassination, nor was it a prince's poisoning. That's good. It seems heaven also doesn't want us to move the capital to Chang'an. Then let's abandon this matter. The crown prince should not leave the palace for inspections anymore. Old Zhu also breathed a sigh of relief. He had only thought that the Qin king had harmed his eldest son. He didn't expect this mess to actually be his own fault, but he would never admit that he had sent his eldest son to his death, and could only abandon the plan to move the capital. Second-tier lottery participants totaled 164 people. The prizes are as follows. The first prize is a set of armor and swords made from high-grade steel. Last time, wasn't it Emperor Qin Shi Huang's imperial jade seal? How come this time it's just a set of armor? The difference is truly too great. Your Majesty, do not panic. Last time, among the 6 options, there were also useless items. The second option? A golden-scented jade imperial seal, chipped at one corner. Good. Old Lai was right, after all. This is the true imperial jade seal. Emperor Qin Shi Huang had many imperial seals. Only this golden-scented jade bears those 8 characters. Old Zhu nodded inwardly. At the same time, his intention to kill Old Li intensified. Originally, he thought that if the crown prince ascended the throne, then Old Li, being old enough, wouldn't live for many more years, and wouldn't pose any threat to the second-generation emperor. But if it were his grandson, only 2 or 3 years old today, to officially ascend the throne, then this Old Lai, first and foremost, could not be kept alive. Historical knowledge test. Question 3. The 4th emperor of the Ming Dynasty, Ming Yuanzhang, was crown prince for over 20 years. Please answer, how should he address Zhu Di, the 4th son of Ming Taizu Zhu Yuanzhang? Why? Does this even need asking? Ming Yuanzhang, the 4th emperor of the Ming Dynasty, who was crown prince for over 20 years. Isn't that the son of the primary ruler? Is that the little fatty, Zhu Gaoqi? Just now, when I came out of the Yan King's residence, he was still tearfully seeing him off. As soon as he thought of this, Zhu Di, as the imposter Yan King, felt that this time he was definitely in for a severe beating. The first two questions he still found quite amusing, as they had nothing to do with him, but this time there was no escaping it. A. Imperial uncle. B. Imperial granduncle. C. Regent king. D. General of pacifying the North. As the four options spilled out, everyone present was stunned. What kind of question is this? Historical knowledge test? Question 3. The fourth emperor of the Ming Dynasty, Ming Yuanzhang, was crown prince for over 20 years. How should he address Judy? Does this even need asking? That little fatty Zhu Yuanzhang is my son. If not calling me father, what else would he call me? However, this heavenly screen absolutely must not reveal that little fatty's name. Otherwise, I'm done for. A. Imperial uncle. B. Imperial granduncle. C. Regent king. D. General of pacifying the North. These options have us baffled. The Duke of Korea believes that this question, like the previous two, is not about what relation His Royal Highness the Yan King has with Emperor Renzong, but rather to tell us about the succession of the imperial throne for the next 3 generations. The Duke of Korea is widely knowledgeable. Why don't you tell us? What intricate twists and turns are hidden within? Firstly, the title, General of Pacifying the North, is absolutely impossible. The question already stated that our great Ming's 4th emperor was crown prince for 20 years, indicating that the 3rd emperor reigned for a long time, and, like your majesty, established a crown prince. Most importantly, this 4th emperor ascended the throne through normal succession. According to what the heavenly screen said, the 2nd emperor is His Royal Highness, the imperial grandson. Then he should address the Yan King as imperial uncle. This is without question. Thus, the 3rd emperor should address our 4th brother as imperial granduncle, and the 4th emperor should be called imperial great-granduncle. But there is no such option here, which indicates that either 3rd brother and Yunwen are brothers, or uncle and nephew. Descendants of the southern Taoist nun. That's rather unlikely. Our great Ming imperial family only has your majesty's direct lineage. If His Royal Highness Yunwen has no male heirs, then the imperial throne should be inherited by one of your other sons or grandsons, to be the 3rd emperor. Even if His Royal Highness the Crown Prince were to meet an untimely end, then the most qualified to inherit the imperial throne would be the Qin King, or the Yan King, and the 3 other kings, according to their order, would be next. As Li Shanchang's words reached Zhu Di's ears, he felt that even he, who knew what would happen most clearly in the future, was being bewildered by him, let alone Zhu Yuanzhang, Zhu Biao, and the others. So Mr. Li's meaning is that the 3rd emperor's throne will be passed from the Yan King to Biao's descendants? Impossible. Impossible? The Empress is overthinking. If it were His Royal Highness Yunwen's son or an adopted son who became the 3rd emperor, then the 4th emperor should address the Yan King as imperial great-granduncle. The title, imperial great-granduncle. But that option isn't available. Therefore, the 3rd emperor could only be His Royal Highness Yunwen's brother. So the imperial uncle option is absolutely incorrect. The remaining 2 options are imperial granduncle. Regent king is absolutely impossible, because it already stated that the 4th emperor was crown prince for over 20 years, indicating that the 3rd emperor was senior and held real power. How could there be another Duke of Zhou then? Watching the Duke of Korea, Li Shanchang, speak with such fervor in the Great Hall, at this moment, Zhu Di felt as if he were possessed by Detective Conan, explaining everything with perfect logic. Even he himself was starting to believe it. We know Old Li's insights well. That's likely the truth of the matter. Only it is a pity